After multiple issues, controversies, personnel changes, and mergers, the DCU is finally done and dusted, with James Gunn taking over the reins as co-chief of DC Studios along with Peter Safran. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. The franchise, which was supposed to be a competitor to the MCU, crashed and burned, but it was not without some genuinely good films. The Snyderverse is never happening. It is a miracle that fans even got the Snyder Cut. However, like how Gunn took the disastrous Suicide Squad and gave it a good direction with the Suicide Squad, there are a few more films from the DCU that deserve better. Here are 4 films that need a second chance in the DCU. James Gunn's Creature Commandos has kickstarted the DCU, but there are few characters from the DCU hat which deserve another shot. When the DCU began with Man of Steel, Ezra Miller was cast as the Scarlet Speedster in the sequel Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and they even had a cameo in Suicide Squad. A solo film was announced right then with a scheduled release date of 2018 via Slash Film, but they missed the date on that by miles. Multiple filmmakers and screenwriters were attached to the film, including Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, Rick Famuyiwa, Robert Zemeckis, and the duo John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein. Finally, Andy Muschietti was selected for the film after he delivered the successful It franchise for WB. This one had every obstacle thrown at it, and while it is admirable that The Flash finally did release, the underwhelming quality of the film ultimately made it a box office bomb. Barry Allen, aka The Flash, is one of the most popular DC characters and is a valuable member of the Justice League. A solo film on the character has reportedly been in the works since the 80s. Despite James Gunn, who had already been nominated as the co-chief of DC Studios and had announced his plans for the reboot, claiming that it was the best superhero film of the year, The Flash was a box office bomb, earning a meager $271 million against a $200 million budget via Box Office Mojo. Bad CGI, a messy screenplay, and cameos and plotlines that audiences knew would lead to nowhere were just some of the reasons why The Flash's big screen launch failed at the box office. However, the character still deserves a second chance in Gunn's DCU purely because he is one of the most popular characters in the franchise. Gunn has been clear about wanting to hold off on developing a Flash film for the DCU, making it clear that the DCU would not greenlight any film without a proper script ready, via Threads. Right now, it might be too soon to kickstart another Flash film after the colossal disaster. However, the film was marred by controversies surrounding Ezra Miller's legal troubles, which included being charged with Dr*G possession, accused of choking a woman, multiple arrests, and accusations of grooming via People. The change in leadership at WB also reportedly led to multiple changes in the ending before it was finally released in 2023. It was not a box office success and failed to even reach a break-even point of $250 to $300 million via Variety. However, that does not speak to the quality of the film or the incredible performances and chemistry of its lead cast. Margot Robbie kills it in the film as Harley Quinn, who is going through a breakup with Mr. J. This may be a hot take, but Birds of Prey is one of the best films in the DCU. The tone is incredibly fun, and the team-up of a ragtag team of female antiheroes was done way better before the horrendous Madam Web, but anything is better than Madam Web. And lastly, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is always a win. Directed by Cathy Yan, who previously helmed the amazingly quirky Chinese film Dead Pigs, the DCU film is sort of a black sheep in the franchise. It took the best part of Suicide Squad and put her front and center in a black crime comedy that was more than just a usual superhero film. The comedy worked, and so did the unique visual grammar of the film. While its predecessor Shazam was a huge success for the DCU, the sequel seemed to appear a bit too late as the fans were already aware that the franchise would be rebooted soon. Shazam! Fury of the Gods saw director David F. Sandberg return to the franchise along with star Zachary Levi as the titular superhero. She is joined by Mary Elizabeth Winstead as the Huntress, and Journey Smollett-Bell as Black Canary. Ewan McGregor's casting as Black Mask was a masterstroke, and he brings in his signature charm and eccentricity to the character. Yet, the film was widely hated by many DC fans at the time for flimsy reasons. Tonally, Birds of Prey would be a perfect addition to James Gunn's brand of humor. It too features a team of misfits who join for a mission like the Suicide Squad, or Peacemaker, or Creature Commandos. Getting Robbie back to the role would be a great move for the franchise, as a new Harley Quinn will be tough to match her level in the near future. James Gunn's Superman teaser trailer hits us with bright colors right from the beginning. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. It is a hint that the director is aiming to bring back the character's signature traits of hope and optimism. The mood of the film is significantly different from Henry Cavill's Superman. Man of Steel was a dark, gritty film that brought Zack Snyder's unique vision to the screen. While James Gunn's hopeful Superman takes over the internet, fans still respect Henry Cavill's film for this perfect ode to original Superman. Throughout the new hopeful teaser of Superman, James Gunn has hinted that comics will play a huge part in this David Corenswet-led film. While Gunn's attempts seem to work, it is still no match to how Zack Snyder used classic references for his Superman. Gunn and Snyder's takes are prone to comparisons due to the nature of how things transitioned from DCU to DCU. While fans accuse Snyder of steering away from the comics, the Rebel Moon director did retain some classic elements of the beloved character. One specific scene from his film, featuring the superhero's attempts to make his first flight, is a perfect ode to Golden Age Superman. While many still debate which of the two directors understands the character better, one scene in Henry Cavill's Man of Steel stood unmatched by the new Superman film. In one of the scenes, Cavill's Superman is testing out his powers and he attempts to fly into the sky. After a couple of failed attempts that were more of a jump than a flight, Cavill's character succeeds. More recent superhero film directors have received the wrath of the audience for steering away from the source material for the sake of originality. However, James Gunn plans to reel in the comic book fandom by giving them what they exactly want. One fan mentioned in the YouTube video of the scene that it was an homage to the Golden Age Superman. The fan, at Comastorm23, explained, "The original Superman could only jump over buildings and could lift cars." Then later on, the writers kept giving Superman more powers. The fan further went on to call Snyder's film a hidden gem of superhero movies. While James Gunn also throws in some classic references in the new teaser, it hardly comes close to Man of Steel's efforts. The classic look in the teaser, John Williams' music, and the visual text between scenes all have influences from Richard Donner's Superman films. The comic-accurate costumes, the settings, and even the plethora of characters and Easter eggs that flash through the scenes look all promising. The colorful filter also helps bring hope and optimism into the film and gives it a classic look. Fans saw a Man of Steel who is more relatable and spreads optimism around. Particularly, one scene in the trailer where David Corenswet's character swoops in to save a girl from crashing debris is something classic Superman does. Superman stands as hope for the people as the chant, "Superman," gets louder and louder during the run of the teaser. It is further highlighted in the teaser when a young boy raises a flag with the S symbol and whispers Superman's name during a time of crisis. Gunn himself mentioned the inspiration from comic books during an interview. He shared with comicbook.com, "There's a lot of stuff from the comic books above and beyond anything else, All-Star Superman, that influenced me more